Okay, Jason, just a quick little video recap of what we spoke about in our session today, mate. So, spoke a little bit about the setup, didn't we? Spoke about getting your legs a little bit more bent, rather than there's a little bit of bend in them, but maybe not enough. I like the angle that you're bent over at. However, your shoulders looked a little open. Right, you look at the pros, and they're about. I mean, they tend to have their shoulders open a fraction, like a few degrees, not quite sort of along the toe line, but it's not too far away, right? But your shoulders are pretty open, meaning pointing off to the left too much, right? So when you come back for your session next week, that's one of the things that will change in the setup for you. Good grip, we spoke about that. Really like the way that you put your hands on the club, and then the takeaway was what we really spoke the most about, didn't we? So you can see, if you look at those two green lines, your hands are kind of on the bottom line, and then quickly move on to the top line, and then your left hand, your glove hand's even above the top line, right? So you've got a lot of your hands are moving out and your left arm's moving out, so then you've got all this space underneath your left arm, and you're just flipping the club inside, right? So you got that big angle. So your arm's there and the club's there. Whereas what we want to do now this is Hunter Mahan, and he's hitting a hybrid, but I deliberately pulled him up because he's got a, he's a good model to use for that takeaway. Look how the hands are moving inward, and the left arm's moving inward. So you look at the top of his left arm there. That's still pinching against his chest as he takes the club away, right? So that's more like what we're looking for. And then from there, you get up to the top. Nice straightening with your right leg, nice flexing with your left leg, like that. So that's a similarity that you see a lot of the pros make, right? Right leg straightens a little bit, left leg flexes a little bit. So you kind of flip the club head behind you, and then get the club a little across the line at the top, right? Whereas one of the things I said was, most of these pros just keep the club head slightly behind the hands at the top, and you'll be able to do that with a bit of takeaway. So it's a flip, kind of a flip on the inside, hands moving out, left arm moving out, disconnected with the left arm there. Then we get up to the top, across the line. And then as you come down, kind of above the plane a little bit, right? So you can see just how above the plane, above that top green line, your club is coming, right? And then down to P6 there, position 6, shaft parallel with the ground. What the pros do is by that point, they've still got their club head. They've still got their club head behind their hands. You've got your club head way outside the hands, right? So from there, that's going to affect the path you come into the ball. Pros come at the ball slightly from the inside. You can see that club head is attacking the ball from the inside. Your club's coming at it from the outside, right? And then you're just cutting across it. So you're hitting your pull shots. But because the blade's open, most of them have got that little fade on it, right? The other thing that we spoke about as well was just how flat-footed you are, right? You look at these pros, by impact, that right foot's off the ground, that right heel's off the ground a little bit because they've moved the hips over their left foot. So they're already balancing on their left foot at impact, and then they finish balancing on their left foot at impact. Whereas you finish and you're still on your right foot, right? So so what I did was, oops. So what we did was, there's your before swing, before takeaway. And then what I'm doing is I'm getting your hands moving inward, right? And that's why I'm pushing your left shoulder. So you've still got some pinching under that left armpit there, right? So look at the difference there, right? And I haven't really, I wasn't really being tough enough with you. I really wanted to, get your left arm inward more, right? So I kind of let you get away with it a little bit, but you can see how the left arm's now moved inward just a little bit, whereas out here, moved out, right? No space. What we're looking for is, to get rid of this space underneath, in between your arms, right? You can see there's no space there. And then from that position, you don't have to do anything extra special, right? Good takeaway generally leads to a good rest of the backswing. As long as you're tilting, you're turning, you're bending backwards a bit. And there's your different sort of look with the club head behind your hands, whereas this one kind of across your hands pointing off to the right, whereas now that's a much better position, right? So that was just moving you in it so that you understand the feeling, right? So then from face on, the one on the right was just giving you the feeling of where you want to be more at impact, right? So we said, right, well, your hips, center of your hips has got to be more over your left foot, right? So we put a few little lines here. That's at impact. Put a few little lines here. Notice how your right foot's off the ground. This one on the right, and that right heel. The more your hips go this way, move laterally towards the target, the more that right heel's going to come off the ground, right? Which is where you see the pros. That's where you see the pros at impact. So the other thing that we spoke about was, yes, there's a little bit of movement with the upper body, right? So the head's moving, the centre of the shoulders is moving to the right. And as you come down, just kind of stays there, right? Doesn't make any effort to move back to the left side. And that's what's kind of contributing to you keeping this right foot down on the ground there. So you look at that. You look at that at impact, and we actually zoomed in with your feet, didn't we? And we said, well, it's not your right foot coming off the ground, it's actually your left foot coming off the ground. You're kind of making some kind of a movement upwards, right? Extending, to try and make contact with the ball so you don't whiff it, so you don't hit it fat. And you can see how that left heel's coming off the ground. So you look at that position compared to that one on the right side where your left foot's planted, your hips are more over your left foot, and you look at that sort of follow through compared to that follow through, right? Arms are more extended now. In future sessions we're going to work on this spine angle. We want spine angle bending backwards a little bit at that point at P8. But as a starting point, mate, these sessions that you're going to come and have over the next few weeks, we're going to work on your setup a little bit, but it's mainly going to be takeaway, building you a better takeaway, which then leads to a better backswing, and then working on coming down and hitting the ball with your hips more over your left foot there. Right, so as far as a model, I think we use Robert Rock, right? I think we use Rocky. Right, so a few lines there outside his hips. Now watch where his hips are at impact. Watch where his belt buckle is, right? Kind of over his front foot. So he's already on his foot. He's hitting the ball, balancing on his front foot. Finishes, balancing on his front foot. So if we stop him there, say, arms extended on the left foot. Arms extended on the left foot. You can see the only difference there, big difference, major difference, is the spine angles. Right. But as a starting point, mate, pretty good. Pretty good. So that's what we're going to work on. The takeaway and moving the weight forward is going to get you attacking the ball more from the inside rather than coming across it from the outside. Okay, Jason, any questions, mate? Just shoot me over an email. Cheers.